Resident Evil Zero had its narrative problems when it was released, such as the magic elevator, or who created the original virus outbreak. But these days, Zero has a bigger problem. And that's, does it even exist in the Resident Evil canon? Welcome back to the world of survival horror. Resident Evil Zero, ideally positioned as a prequel, might be expected to seamlessly integrate into the narrative. It's somewhat disheartening that the exploration of STAR's Bravo team was limited, yet the choice of setting, time frame and the ensemble cast had minimal repercussions on subsequent events. Well, aside from the shift in personality within the span of 24 hours for Rebecca. However, a touch of suspension of disbelief can be applied here.
If we go straight from here, we should arrive at an old mansion which Umbrella uses for research. Come on, let's go.
Wait! I've got to find Billy.
Somebody sure knows how to get a deal. Most of the medical supplies here are from Umbrella.
Umbrella?
Don't you know? They're only the biggest taxpayers around here. They make most of these medicines right here. Homegrown in Raccoon City.
Everything sailed smoothly until the remakes of Resident Evil 2 and 3 emerged. In contrast to the remake of the first installment, Resident Evil 2 altered the very fabric of Raccoon City, while Resident Evil 3 expanded upon its foundation. Now, let me be clear, these are exceptional games and brought new people into the franchise.
It's alright, you're going ahead.
Yet it brought a major problem. What precisely constitutes as the canonical events of Raccoon City? You might argue that it's inconsequential, and that Capcom's official stance is that all events from both the original and the remakes happen. However, that's the problem. The canonicity, is that even a word? Well, whatever it is, the canon status of Resident Evil Zero seems to only impact newcomers to the franchise. In the game, Rebecca ventures into the Marshalling Yards. This is the main entrance to Birkin's underground laboratory, a pivotal location in the Resident Evil 2 game. In the remakes, Birkin Labs undergoes a kind of transformation into Nest. Now it's accessible via the sewer system. For those only acquainted with the remakes, this segment of Resident Evil Zero kind of loses its significance. So I'm curious, do you fall into this category? Let me know down in the comments. This curiosity stems from the existence of the two distinct timelines, the original timeline and the remake timeline. While Resident Evil 1 seamlessly integrates into either, Zero only ties into the original. For those versed solely on the remake canon, this particular section loses any significance. One perspective to consider is aligning with Capcom's sequence of events. According to their narrative, a virus outbreak unfolds, it leads to a near decimation of both STARS and Bravo team. The contagion then extends to its reach in Raccoon City, where Leon, Claire, Sherry and Jill all manage to survive and escape the city before it's bombed to hell. So adhering to this logic, the intricacies of Resident Evil Zero don't seem to matter. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, if I want to be invested in a story, I wouldn't just read the cliff notes. I mean, can you imagine reading the Tolkien masterpiece Cliff Notes? A hobbit inherits a potent ring, embarks on a quest with some companions to destroy it, faces a grand battle, witnesses some casualties, and ultimately hurls the ring into a fiery abyss. Now, if I said that to you, would you say that you know the full story of Lord of the Rings? You couldn't, could you? The detail matters. The richness and the depth of the narrative is lost. For Resident Evil, we need to know what happened in Raccoon City, where the final event happened. Was it in the Deg factory or Nest 2? Was Birkin's lab in the Marshalling Yard or the sewer? Was Nikolai a supervisor or just a merc looking to get rich?
But I'm in this business to get paid.
With the current trend of remakes, the chances are that Zero is going to be redone at some point, and then it can be brought more in line with the current remake landscape. We've already seen that Remake 3 Jills appear in Dead Island, and so the direction of travel appears to favour the remakes as the dominant timeline. This game, like many others, will then be relegated to the alternate timeline, or the Legends, and that only exists for a select few people who were around to play it when it was released, or have taken upon themselves to seek it out. As it stands, well, it's up to you. Does Zero exist in your timeline? Again, let me know down in the comments, and it's right under that big like button. And speaking of Raccoon City, you can tell it was done so much better in the original timeline. And if you want to see why, then you need to watch the videos on screen now. Don't forget to hit that like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you survivors next time. This is the main entrance to Birkin's underground